教室原著里，咱们今天的主题是谁是 Anne Frank? Anne Frank was born on June 12, 1829 in the city of Frankfurt, Germany. 12 days later, little baby Anne and his mother Edith out of the hospital, and the friends of families. In the time of Anne's father, Otto was a businessman. Her mom is of Holland, carrying Anne's and Anne's old sisters, Margaret. Also, the comfortable life. There was a nanny to help Mrs. Frank. The family had nice clothes and good food, and had her own little sandbox to play in. The apartment in Frankfurt was full of books. Otto Frank was many years older than his wife, and many of their opposite. Otto was tall and thin, and it was plump. Otto loved being around the people. He was a high-spirited, outgoing. Evelyn was shy and quiet. Otto loved to read to his daughters. He also made wonderful stories at bedtime. Some were about two sisters named Paula. One's Paula was very well behaved, like Margot. The other Paulas with lots of trouble. The Paulas were more like Annie, always wore was Mrs. She. Both girls and fathers, their nickname was Pim, and besides telling stories, Pim loved to play games. He also a very good photographer. He took many pictures of his girls and kept his photo album for Anne. Anne was also very close to her grandmother, who was called Oma. Oma loved spoiling Anne. Once where Anne was buzzed with Oma. Anne lived in his aunt's room. Someone of his own old lady. Anne was only 4.5 at that time, but that was Anne, and always outspoken. Her father understood her. He and Annie were very much alike, and didn't get along nearly as his mother. Their offers fights Anne was jealous about her sister's and mother's past, and Margaret was serious of human marriage. Anne was motto in the temper of lively and full of the fun of theirs in Margaret's eyes and lovely smiles. The Frank family was Jewish, and they followed a certain their roots was lineage on important days. They celebrate on Jewish holidays, but not all of them. They were Jewish and practiced choose not to follow. Many of immigrants in the friends of neighborhood are not Jewish, and sometimes they in friend house of celebrate Jewish holidays such as Hanukkah. With the children of Israel were bigger of the home Jews of the Germany was early Jews of the frightening change with Germany's defeat. Unlike Otto Frank, where Germany's issues with bars and price of warehouse as a mid of the sky high with the power in 1933. 2000 has a national scout the Nazi, and the Germans feel better about themselves, and the German people is fighting better before Germans, not Jews. However, Hitler are blaming Jews for Germany's profit. 19th century was a meaner, harder Jewish of 19th century and known for Others of enjoyment throughout the world in times of history, special neighborhoods could get to the school and Christians or without the culture of fervor of get rid of all Jewish of course and not at first but Nazis and Poland living hide out Germans Jewish like the French. There was dangerous out of friends so that they decided outside for Germany of the Zulus and ants. Farther from the country were not of World War One in 1933. There were more than 500,000 German Jews in the next years, and they filled the country with shows of aunts, grandmothers in Switzerland, and they fell in 1933. Alfred moved to Amsterdam by January 1934. The rest of the family had moved there too. Amsterdam was the largest city in Netherlands, a small country in the west of Germany. Why did Franks pick this country? It was close by for one thing, and Otto already knew how to speak Dutch. For more language in Netherlands of the more important. They were known of getting along with everyone, including Jews. Amsterdam introduced a new company. It was written his father on agent and they rose up. And it bought all new houses and Rose started school. They made new friends of friends and daughter only parents added Frank on their double as a Germans and feel all of the place and we still have auto of nations but he was wrong. Chapter 2 A New Home. Amsterdam was a pretty sturdy and cross-quiet canals on the boats when canals were all hours of the day, and was under 4 years old in 1934. There's rules in Amsterdam and quickly behaved their home of friend's new apartment was not a large apartment, was the room of the guest was also as dismissed the old friend of family is happy with Oma K to live with them and held a relative of Mrs. Jews. Many other Jewish families moved from Germany to Amsterdam, and the friends of the circle of German Jewish friends. At school, half of the children in Anne's class were Jewish. Some have even come from Frankfurt, just like her. Anne was a good student and he thought although she hated math, she was chatterbox, and often teachers called her to be quiet. In her free time, she liked to play ping pong. He started a ping pong club called Little Beer Minus Two Club. There was 5 members. The name of the club came from the numbers of the stars in Little Beer and had father was 5 children. Really, there were 7 that the place with minus. The minus 2 is in the club's name. And like to read history book and read names of popular series about a girl named Drop of Adventures with lovely like and like ice skating and riding on her bike with his friend's head. And was always Anne Franks, sometimes Anne and Han. No, there's also a balcony on the Franks apartments and we put all the people of street below and a good swimmer. Amsterdam is not far of sees horror of many photo show and there are swimsuits of the photo of Anne has his blanks of visuals and voice on the pictures and take her mind from the worry of the rose and the seas alone and she missed many days at the school because in cause of the flu. Now the movies answers from magazines and news. She even had daydreams of the movies star herself one day. And didn't have to be pretty enough of an ugly duckling. She in many ways Anne's childhood was very much most kids expect one summer reading that happened Germans and Jewish Germany just because she was Jewish. He was sent to labor camp. It was like a prison. Even just an underwater was locally when the freedom by Arnold into the Germany forever. He ended up moving to the United States. But it was always the house was near London in 1938. He went to Australia and Germany. Austria and German. Austria was the southern border of Germany and we spoke German, and most of them happy to be a part of powerful empire they cheered the Hitlers. Soldiers and marched into the city of Vienna, then the touch of hearts and southern most of the control and their hundreds in March of 1939, German invaded of the Hitlers army when Ireland of the Empire to Alto with added friends and hard organizations and family. Amsterdam is moving up near to England, the United States, and the country of South America, and how permits that countries resides in their habits in Amsterdam, Islanders, and not relative in German nearby in 1949. Alto friends are 50 years old. He's not too old to start his life over yet again. In the end, friends decided to uproot a family for a second time. They stay in Amsterdam. 这个是面看的了，不然第二个手的，那是面了，跟人家们讲过，拜。